Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. More and more people are coming out of the woodwork and saying it's her fault and she should resign. This is Secret Service Chief Kimberly Cheatle. She's responsible for protecting President Joe Biden and also former President Donald Trump. And many people out there are saying that she didn't do her job and her agency failed the former President Donald Trump. We're talking politicians who are saying it's her fault and she needs to resign. We're talking former military, former police, rally attendees, security experts, TV pundits. Many people out there are saying it's her fault and she needs to resign. I don't see many people defending her actions publicly. I want to share a clip, folks, because of security. Bob Kinder of the Kinder Group. Now, this is a large security company. He has a take on this situation, and I want to share this take with all of you.
Kinder, a retired military officer, as well as founder of security services company, the Kinder Group. Bob, thank you so much for being with us. First of all, we're learning a lot. This is an ever-evolving situation here. So we got that new information from Evan. We got that new information from Brian that clearly on this plan, local police were supposed to cover the building, that local police were actually at the building, inside on the second floor, though not on the roof. And apparently the sniper did not shoot the gunman, Thomas Crooks, because he thought Crooks was also a sniper. But I ask you, Bob, at the end of the day, shouldn't the Secret Service be the agency that is ultimately responsible?
I want to be very clear that Secretary Cheatle and the subordinate on-ground commander, the on-scene commander, they're responsible for everything that their organization does or fails to do. And in this case, their mission was simply to protect the president, the former president, from any and all harm that can become him. And they failed miserably. You cannot blame a subordinate organization. When the Secret Service gets their mission, they task organize, so they see all the organizations that they can bring to bear to tackle this event. State police, local law enforcement, EOD, those types of organizations. Get everybody together, look at what the capabilities are for the separate organizations and assign them roles and responsibilities that fit those capabilities. And this is not when you pass out the roles and responsibilities, it's not action past, action complete. You have to lead and follow up and ensure everyone clearly understands what their missions, roles, and responsibilities are. And you cannot assume anything, because there are various levels of experience here.
Absolutely. And we know that there are multiple investigations happening right now into the events of the weekend. Which one is the most critical from your perspective?
It's the FBI's, and I would encourage that they have other organizations participate, because we all have different levels of experience, and have everybody go in, break down exactly what happened from when they accepted the mission, when they were given the task to secure this rally, to when those events happened. Break down, it's called an after-action review, what went well, what didn't go well, and what were those breakdowns, and they have to be disseminated. We have to learn these valuable lessons. Their job not only was to protect the former president, but in this case, is to protect democracy.
Absolutely. And Bob, we know that there's still so much that we don't know. We do know now that the shooter wrote a message on a gaming platform that, quote, July 13th will be my premiere. Watch as it unfolds. Bob, do you think we are any closer to learning a motive?
I believe we are, and the investigation will tell us exactly what happened, because we've got so many tools available to us to dig deeply into the media, social media, to find out what sites this individual is on, perhaps where his affiliations were. So I'm confident that the FBI and other organizations are going to get to the bottom of what his motives were.
My last question for you, Bob. You touched on this in the beginning, but right now we know that the Secret Service director is refusing to step down. Do you believe she will ultimately step down or be pushed out? And what will accountability look like?
I think accountability has to start with her. Look in the mirror and determine, was I overall responsible for the protection of the president? And the answer is yes. And in this case, the buck stops with her. Make the hard decision, make the right decision, step away. I failed. And let's put somebody into that position that can tackle this task, because we still have a lot of ground to cover, a lot of months ahead of us before the election. Let's make sure that everybody is protected.
Absolutely. All right, Bob Kinder, thank you so much.
I agree with a lot of its assessment, folks, but you know what? Here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. What happens if she doesn't resign? What happens if she refuses to step down? Does Congress have the authority to remove her? Is there anything out there, any way, any legal way that she could be fired? Besides the president of the United States firing her, because the president of the United States, Joe Biden, appointed her September of 2022. So she wasn't even on the job more than 2 years when this terrible tragedy occurred. She used to work at Pepsi, as we further discussed. How in the world did someone go from being security at Pepsi to then being the head of the Secret Service? That might have to be explained here. Is she not qualified enough for the job? Did other more qualified candidates get overlooked in the hiring process? And how far in it is she with the Bidens? And I say that legitimately, considering there's reports that she was personal, or she is personal friends with Jill Biden. So it's interesting that Biden would put out a statement, weeks ago saying there's a bullseye around the former president, bullseye. We've spoken on JLR Investigates to many people that attended that Trump rally. And they have told us, and we related to all of you, that security for that particular event was different than normal Trump rallies. Less Secret Service agents around, and it begs the question here. Was there a conspiracy here, or was there orders for less security to be at this particular event that day? A lot of unanswered questions. She will have to answer to Congress, regardless if she resigns or not. She's going to be subpoenaed into Congress, and I think we will get answers, because I think there is congressional people that are going to ask those questions that we are all seeking. There's still a lot of unknowns, but there's huge calls to resign for her. Now, whether she does that or not, that remains to be seen. We're covering this case extensively. We're covering it at all angles. And when anything breaks on this case, I will share with all of you on JLR Investigates. Hit that sub button. I wouldn't want to be in her shoes right now. I would not want to be in her shoes. Some people go as far as to say that, she's in on this plot. We're not going to go that far on this channel yet to say that, hey, she's involved up to her eyeballs. But something's fishy here, folks. Something is fishy when it comes to this case. Let me know what you think. Sub to the channel, and we'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. We cover true crime 24/7, 365. We pray for peace, and we pray for all the victims of this terrible tragedy. We'll talk soon. Stay tuned.